My mother um, had to go into hospital for a 10-hour operation
Mm-hmm.
to get a tumor out.
Mm-hmm.
And, the doctor had said to us on the morning of, there's 50% chance she's getting off the table. And he said, I've got to be blunt because that's how my doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hardcore. And then me and my brother and sister, I'd gone back to London, and me and my brother and sister were walking around the hospital, praying, eating sandwiches, too many coffees, whatever it was. And there was TVs in every room, and they were saying Harry and Meghan get engaged, and I was half taking it in. And so after 10 hours, when the doctor was supposed to call, he hadn't called, and it was in like 10 and a half hours, 10 hours 45 minutes, and we we're freaking out. And all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden my phone rings, and I say hello, and then this voice says, this is Kensington Palace calling, is that Alexi? And I was looking around going, what?
What is happening?
And my brother and sister looking at me going, why is he making that face? What's going on with our mum?
Yeah.
And then I say, sorry, who's this again? And they said, it's Kensington Palace. And I was like, and then it struck me, all the TVs. I was like, oh my God, my two best friends, they're pranking me. And I was about to swear down the phone, blue murder, going, it's my mum's operation. How the keep doing this to me?
Yeah.
And I was like, I took a breath. I was like, I'm sorry, one more time, who is it? And they said, Kensington Palace, we have a project. And I said, can I call you back tomorrow? And then put the phone down. 10 minutes later, the doctor rang. My mum's great. She's waking up from an operation. And the first thing my brother goes is, guess who called Alexi? And she was like, what? And then he goes, to Kensington Palace. And she was like, am I still on drugs? Anyway, so my mum made a full recovery, but I was down there 2 days later, and I was with the couple to interview. It wasn't a sure thing. And just to talk about how I would go about it and if we vibed and everything. And I'd done all this research of finding pictures from past royal engagements, just to sort of say, this is what's been done in the past, this is what I'm thinking, blah, blah, blah. But as we were talking, it was just the four of us in the room, they had their assistant or whatever. Every time Harry said something, Meghan would look at her and she would literally glow. And likewise the other way around. And you know what it's like. I mean, when you're
Mm-hmm.
first in love, but also when you first make a decision like we're going to get married, it's electric. It infects the environment
Mm-hmm.
around you.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just thinking, oh my God. And it was almost like embarrassing to be in the room with him. And I remember I said to him, you know what? Forget all this. Look at this when I'm sitting in front of you. You guys, you're adorable. I mean, like, it's palpable, the love.
Mm-hmm.
All I need is a camera. I'm getting tingles talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
All I need is a camera and just follow you around. And I just document what I see because it's
Mm-hmm.
all there. I don't need to set it up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. So a couple of weeks later, we were in Windsor Castle taking these pictures. And it was it was definitely a highlight of my career in terms of, as a day, it was perfect. The light was perfect. The mood was perfect. The love was perfect. Everything was just wonderful, and I get super excited. Obviously, you can tell when I talk, I'm quite animated. And when I'm taking pictures, like if I like something, I'm like, yes, yeah, go, oh my god, oh my god, and of course that made them laugh, and also one great thing about my career, which I love, and I can obviously tell from what you do is the same thing. You love to ask questions. You love to sort of find the keys to people.
Mm-hmm.
And part of being a photographer is, if you're taking pictures of people, not as objects, but as humans,
Mm-hmm.
is you've got to find the key to open them up. Because
Mm-hmm.
nobody likes the camera being thrust in their face and
Yeah.
being told to just be themselves. You feel
Mm-hmm.
like super awkward. So I'm constantly talking to people and like, yeah, great, yeah. So what are you doing at the moment? Click here. And while I'm asking them questions like, what are you doing at the moment? And where's your life? And how many kids have you got? That's this side of the brain. The other side of my brain is looking at their face going, okay, so the light looks good on that side. They've got a little bit of their better chin here, whatever it is. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, so you're thinking about three things in your brain at the same time. And then you have to become this. It's like, I describe it like sitting next to somebody at a dinner party you've never met before.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I love being thrust next to somebody I've never met before because it's a challenge. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna break you.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to know you. You're gonna get to know me.
I'm gonna get you smiling and laughing by the end of it, or we're gonna be
Mhm.
crying together, or we're gonna be doing something. But we're
Mhm.
gonna get into it. We're not gonna just surface chat. We're gonna get deep.
Mhm.
And so you find the key for whatever it is, and it can be the stupidest things. Maybe they like rude jokes, or maybe they just had a baby, or maybe they just love talking about love, whatever it is. And you
Mhm.
find that key, and then you hone in it, and then they just open up like flowers to you.
Mhm.
And by the end of that day, it was just gorgeous. And then I knew I was going to get some press because it's a royal engagement. but I never expected it to do what it did.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then I got the wedding the year after that, and that was sort of double the pressure or triple the pressure. But
Mhm.
yeah, so definitely a pinnacle, a peak.